The bar was loud that Friday night, packed with the usual crowd from our neighborhood. I was celebrating a promotion at work, surrounded by friends who'd known me since college. Everything felt right. My career was taking off, my marriage to Elena was solid, and life seemed to be falling into exactly the place I'd always imagined. That's when Derek found me by the pool table. "Matt, can we talk for a second, outside?" His face was serious, a stark contrast to the celebration around us. "Sure, man. What's up?" I followed him to the patio, confusion creeping in. Derek had been my friend for over 15 years. We'd been roommates in college, stood in each other's weddings, helped each other move more times than I could count. He wasn't the type to pull me aside unless something was genuinely wrong. He lit a cigarette, which surprised me. He'd quit 2 years ago. "Look, I don't know how to say this, and maybe I shouldn't, but if someone noticed something about Vanessa, I'd want them to tell me." My stomach tightened. "What are you talking about?" "It's Elena." He exhaled slowly, smoke curling into the night air. "I've seen her a few times recently. At that coffee shop on Meridian, the one near the university. She's been meeting someone." "Derek, she works near there. She meets people for work all the time." "Not like this." He looked uncomfortable, shifting his weight. The way they were sitting, how close they were. The way she touched his arm when she laughed. "Matt, I've known you both for years. This didn't look like work." I felt anger flash through me. Not at Elena, but at him. "So what? You're spying on my wife now? Taking notes on how she sits at coffee shops?" "I wasn't spying. I was there with a client both times. The second time, I saw them leave together. She kissed his cheek, Matt. It lasted too long." "A kiss on the cheek? That's what you're basing this on?" I couldn't keep the edge out of my voice. "Elena is affectionate. She's Italian, for Christ's sake. That's how her whole family greets people." Derek stubbed out his cigarette. "Feeny. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I am. But I've seen the way you look at her, how much you love her, and I couldn't live with myself if I didn't say something." I wanted to throw my drink in his face. I wanted to tell him he was jealous, that he'd never understood what Elena and I had. Instead, I just shook my head. "We're good, Derek. We're really good. I don't know what you think you saw, but you're way off base." He nodded slowly. "I hope so, man. I really do." I went back inside, but the celebration felt hollow now. I watched my other friends laugh and drink, but Derek's words had planted something dark in my mind. When I got home that night, Elena was already asleep, her dark hair spread across the pillow, one hand tucked under her cheek. I stood in the doorway watching her, this woman I'd loved for 6 years, married for 3. She looked peaceful, innocent. The idea that she could be deceiving me seemed absurd. I climbed into bed beside her, and she stirred, rolling toward me instinctively. Her body curved against mine, warm and familiar. "How was it?" she murmured, half asleep. "Good, really good." She made a small, contented sound and drifted back to sleep. I lay awake for hours, Derek's warning echoing in my mind, hating him for saying it, hating myself for listening. 3 weeks passed, and I tried to forget Derek's warning. I really did. But once a seed of doubt is planted, it's impossible to keep it from growing. I started noticing things I'd never paid attention to before. Small things. Meaningless things, probably. But they accumulated like snowfall, each flake insignificant, until suddenly you're buried. But now I noticed how she angled the screen away from me. Elena had always been on her phone a lot. She worked in marketing, managed multiple social media accounts for clients. How she'd silence notifications when I walked into a room. How she'd sometimes smile at a message, then quickly compose her expression when she realized I was watching. "Who's that?" I asked one evening as we sat on the couch. "Hmm?" She looked up, startled. You were smiling at your phone. Oh, just Bethany. She sent a funny meme about her date last night. She showed me the screen readily enough. It was exactly what she'd said. I felt like an idiot for asking. But 2 nights later, she came home at 9:30 instead of her usual 6. Where were you? I tried to keep my voice casual. I told you this morning I had a client dinner. She set her purse on the counter, kicked off her heels. You did? Yes, Matt. A flash of irritation crossed her face. The restaurant group in Westfield. We talked about it at breakfast. Had we? I honestly couldn't remember. Maybe my suspicion was making me forget our actual conversations. How was it? Exhausting. Gerald talked for 2 hours about rebranding his entire concept. She moved toward me, wrapping her arms around my waist. I missed you. She kissed me then, deeply, her body pressing against mine with familiar urgency. We made love on the couch, her hands gripping my shoulders, my name a whisper against my neck. Afterward, as we lay tangled together, I felt ashamed for doubting her. This was Elena, my Elena, the woman who'd nursed me through pneumonia, who'd held my hand at my father's funeral, who'd convinced me I was brave enough to start my own consulting firm. But doubt is a patient poison. The following week, I came home early from a cancelled meeting. Elena's car was in the driveway, which surprised me. She'd said she'd be working late. I walked in to find her rushing down the stairs, fully dressed but with her hair disheveled. Matt, you're home early. What are you doing here? I thought you had to work late. It got moved to tomorrow. I just got home myself, actually. I was changing. It was a perfectly reasonable explanation, but something felt off. The house had a strange energy, like the air after lightning strikes. Were you upstairs this whole time? Yes, why? She looked at me oddly. Your hair's a mess. She touched it self-consciously. I was lying down. I have a headache. Do you want me to get you something? No, I'm fine now. She moved to the kitchen, started pulling out ingredients for dinner. How was your day? We fell into our normal routine, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. That night in bed, I held her close, breathing in the scent of her hair, jasmine and something else, something I couldn't quite place. I love you, I whispered. I love you too, she replied, but she was already half asleep. I stared at the ceiling, Derek's warning playing on repeat in my mind. The way they were sitting, how close they were, the way she touched his arm when she laughed. The next morning, I did something I'd never done before. I checked her phone. I waited until Elena was in the shower. The guilt hit me immediately as I picked up her phone from the nightstand, but my hands were already moving, driven by something I couldn't control. Her passcode was our anniversary. She'd never hidden it from me. The phone unlocked easily, and I felt like a criminal as I opened her messages. Nothing suspicious in the recent texts. Bethany talking about her dating disasters, her mother asking about dinner plans, work conversations about campaigns and deadlines. I scrolled further back, looking for what? I didn't even know. Then I saw a contact labeled J Work. The messages had been deleted, but I could see from her phone records that there had been dozens of calls over the past 2 months, some lasting 30 minutes or more, many late at night. My heart was pounding when Elena stepped out of the bathroom, wrapped in a towel. Morning, she said brightly, then noticed my face. What's wrong? I held up her phone. Who's Jay? The color drained from her face. For a moment, just a split second, I saw something flash across her expression. Fear? Guilt? Then it was gone, replaced by confusion. What are you doing with my phone? Who is Jay, Elena? Are you serious right now? You went through my phone? Her voice rose, anger mixing with something else I couldn't identify. Just answer the question. She snatched the phone from my hand. Julian. He's a contact from the Westfield project. Why are you going through my things? There are dozens of calls. Late-night calls. He's in California. The time difference means he calls during his business hours, which are our evenings. Matt, what is happening right now? She looked genuinely hurt, and I felt my conviction waver. But I'd come too far to stop now. Derek saw you, at the coffee shop, with someone. Recognition flashed in her eyes. Oh my God, this is what this is about? Derek saw me having coffee and decided I was cheating? He said it looked intimate. That you kissed him. I kissed Julian's cheek because he'd just told me his mother died. Her voice cracked. We met for coffee because he was in town for the funeral and needed someone to talk to. I was being a human being, Matt. The words hit me like a physical blow. His mother? Yes, she had a stroke. He was devastated. Tears were streaming down her face now. And instead of trusting me, you've been spying on me? Going through my phone? Elena, Get out. What? Get out! I need you to leave right now. She was sobbing, clutching her towel around her, and I'd never seen her look so broken. I grabbed my keys and wallet, feeling sick. I'd destroyed everything based on Derek's observation and my own paranoia. In the car, I called Derek. You need to tell me exactly what you saw, every detail. He sighed. Matt, I already told you. His mother died, Derek. She died, and Elena was comforting him, and I just accused her of cheating based on you seeing her kiss someone's cheek at a fucking coffee shop. There was a long silence. Shit. I saw what I saw, man. I was trying to help. You almost destroyed my marriage. I drove aimlessly for hours, replaying the morning over and over. The hurt in Elena's eyes, the betrayal she must feel. I'd violated her privacy, accused her of infidelity, all because I'd let doubt consume me. When I finally came home that evening, I was prepared to beg for forgiveness. The house was quiet. Too quiet. Elena's car was gone. On the kitchen counter, I found a note. Staying at Bethany's tonight. We need space. I called her. She didn't answer. 3 days of silence. 3 days of Elena staying at Bethany's, refusing my calls, responding to my texts with single-word answers. 3 days of me drowning in guilt and self-recrimination, certain I'd destroyed the best thing in my life over baseless paranoia. On the 4th day, she finally agreed to meet me. Not at home, at a neutral location. The park where I'd proposed to her. She arrived wearing sunglasses despite the overcast sky, and when she took them off, I could see she'd been crying. My heart shattered all over again. Elena, I'm so sorry. I was completely wrong. I violated your trust, and I have no excuse. Stop. She held up a hand. Just stop for a minute. We sat on the bench overlooking the pond. A family of ducks glided across the water, oblivious to the human drama unfolding on the shore. I've been thinking, she said slowly, about us, about what happened, about why you were so quick to believe I'd betrayed you. Derek said things that got in my head, but that's no excuse. I should have trusted you. You should have. She was quiet for a moment. But Matt, I haven't been entirely honest with you either. My stomach dropped. What do you mean? She took a deep breath. Julian and I, we used to date. In college, before I met you. We were together for 2 years. The world tilted slightly. You dated him? It ended badly. really badly. He cheated on me with my roommate, and I swore I'd never speak to him again. But then 2 months ago, he reached out. He was moving back to the area for work, wanted to apologize for how things ended. I told him I was married, that I'd moved on, that there was nothing to discuss. But you met him anyway. He was persistent. He kept calling, saying he needed closure, that he couldn't move forward without knowing I'd forgiven him. Finally, I agreed to meet him. Just once, just for coffee, to give him his closure and be done with it. The coffee shop on Meridian. She nodded. But when we met, it wasn't just about closure. Matt, he told me he'd never stop loving me. That leaving me was the biggest mistake of his life. He asked me to leave you. I couldn't breathe. What did you say? I told him no, absolutely not. I told him I loved you, that you were my husband, my future. I told him to never contact me again. She turned to look at me directly. And I meant it, Matt. Every word. Then why didn't you tell me? Because I was handling it. Because I knew if I told you I was meeting my ex-boyfriend, the one who destroyed me emotionally, you'd worry. You'd want to protect me, or you'd feel threatened, and I just wanted it to be over without creating unnecessary drama. But there were dozens of calls. Because he wouldn't stop, her voice cracked. He kept calling from different numbers, leaving voicemails, sending emails. When his mother actually did die, I felt terrible for him, but I also wondered if it was just another manipulation. That's why I met him that second time, to make absolutely crystal clear that we were done, that he needed to respect my marriage. The kiss was me being compassionate to someone who'd just lost his mother, even if he was also someone who'd hurt me years ago. It was nothing more than that. I felt sick with a different kind of guilt now. Elena, I'm so sorry. For not trusting you, for going through your phone, for making you feel like you couldn't tell me. But don't you see, we both messed up. I should have told you about Julian from the start, even if it seemed like unnecessary drama. And you should have talked to me instead of going through my phone. She wiped her eyes. We both let fear make our decisions instead of trust. I reached for her hand, and she let me take it. Can we fix this? I don't know, she said honestly. I love you, Matt, but I'm hurt, and I'm angry, and I need to know that you actually trust me, not just say you do. I do trust you. I was an idiot. Then prove it. She pulled her hand away. Give me time. Let me stay at Bethany's for another week. Don't call unless I call first. Show me you can give me space without spiraling into paranoia. It was the hardest thing she could have asked, but I knew she was right. Okay, I said, whatever you need. She stood to leave, then paused. Matt, Julian showed up at Bethany's last night. My blood ran cold. What? He somehow found out where Bethany lives. He knocked on the door at 11 p.m., drunk, begging to talk to me. Elena's jaw was tight. Bethany threatened to call the police if he didn't leave. He finally did, but not before screaming that I was making a mistake, that you didn't deserve me. Elena, I'll handle this. No. Her voice was firm. I already handled it. I called him this morning, told him that if he contacts me again in any way, I'm filing for a restraining order. I blocked every number he'd used, every email address. I made it clear that what we had ended years ago, and there's zero possibility of anything more. Did he accept that? He didn't have a choice. I meant every word. She looked at me intently. But here's what I need you to understand, Matt. This situation with Julian, it wasn't about wanting him. It was about me trying to handle something from my past without dragging you into unnecessary pain. I was wrong to hide it, but my intentions were never to betray you. I know that now. I should have known it then. She sat back down beside me. Derek was right to warn you. What he saw was concerning, and he was being a good friend. But you should have come to me immediately, asked me directly. We should have had this conversation weeks ago instead of letting it fester. You're right, about everything. I turned to face her fully. Elena, I want to fix this. Tell me how. Couples therapy, she said immediately. If we're going to move past this, we need help. We need to learn how to communicate better, how to trust each other with difficult truths. I'll call tomorrow and find someone. I already have a list of 3 therapists who specialize in marriage counseling. I made it while I was at Bethany's because I knew that if we were going to save this, we needed professional help. The fact that she'd been planning our recovery while I'd been wallowing in guilt told me everything I needed to know about who Elena was. A fighter, a problem solver, someone who loved me enough to do the hard work. I'll call all 3, I said. We'll find the best fit. And Matt, no more secrets, from either of us. If something is bothering you, you tell me. If someone from my past shows up, I tell you. We don't let things build up until they explode. No more secrets, I agreed. She studied my face for a long moment, then did something that surprised me. She leaned in and kissed me. Not the passionate kisses we'd shared before, but something gentler, more tentative. A kiss that asked a question. Can we start over? I kissed her back with everything I had, pouring my apology and my love and my commitment into that moment. When we pulled apart, she rested her forehead against mine. I miss you. I miss our home. I miss sleeping next to you. Come home, I whispered. Please. Not yet. I need the full week, Matt. I need to know I can trust my own feelings, that I'm not just rushing back because it's comfortable. It hurt, but I understood. Okay. But we can have dinner tomorrow night at Luigi's. Our place, I said. Luigi's was where we'd had our first date, where we'd celebrated every anniversary since. Our place, she confirmed. That night, alone in our 2-big house, I called Derek. She's coming home, I told him. Not today, but soon. I'm glad, man. Really glad, and I'm sorry for... Don't be. You saw something concerning and told me. That's what friends do. I'm the one who handled it wrong. We good? We're good. After hanging up, I walked through our house, seeing it differently now. The photos on the walls, our wedding, vacations, lazy Sunday mornings. The couch where we'd made love and had fights and binge-watched terrible reality TV. The bed we'd shared for 3 years, where we'd whispered dreams and fears and plans for the future. I'd almost lost all of it because I'd let doubt override trust. Because I'd chosen to investigate instead of communicate. Because I'd forgotten that the woman I married was someone who'd chosen me every single day, and who deserved the same choice from me. Dinner at Luigi's was awkward at first. We'd been to this restaurant 50 times, but tonight everything felt new and uncertain. We sat across from each other, navigating conversation carefully, like diplomats negotiating peace. But then Elena laughed, really laughed, at a story I told about a client meeting gone wrong, and something shifted. The tension began to ease. We ordered wine, shared pasta like we always did, argued playfully about whether the tiramisu or cannoli was better. I scheduled our first therapy appointment, I told her over dessert. Next Tuesday at 6, Dr. Morrison. She had great reviews and specialized in rebuilding trust. I saw her on my list. Good choice. Elena, can I ask you something? Of course. When Julian told you he still loved you, was there any part of you, even for a second, that was tempted? She didn't answer immediately, and I respected her for that. She was thinking, being honest. For a second, she finally said, I felt vindicated. The man who destroyed me, who made me feel worthless, was telling me he'd been wrong. There was a tiny, petty part of me that enjoyed that. She reached across the table, took my hand. But tempted to leave you? To go back to him? Never. Not for one single second. Because what we have, Matt, what we've built together, that's real. That's the future. Julian was the past, and he belongs there. I love you so much. I love you too. Even when you're an idiot who goes through my phone. But she was smiling. That night, she didn't go back to Bethany's. She came home. We lay in bed together, not making love, just holding each other in the darkness. Her head on my chest, my fingers running through her hair, both of us breathing in sync. Thank you for fighting for us, I whispered. Thank you for being worth fighting for, she replied. The road ahead wouldn't be easy. Therapy would force us to confront uncomfortable truths. Rebuilding trust would take time and patience and probably more tears. But as I held my wife in our bed, listening to her breathe, feeling her heartbeat against mine, I knew we'd make it. Because some loves are worth fighting for, some marriages are worth saving, and some mistakes, when handled with honesty and humility, can actually make you stronger. Derek's warning had been right in a way, but not the way either of us thought. He hadn't seen my wife cheating. He'd seen a moment of compassion that looked like something else, a fragment of truth without context. And I'd learned that seeing isn't always understanding, that observation without communication is just suspicion. The real warning should have been about trust, how fragile it is, how carefully it must be tended, how quickly it can crack when left unattended. As Elena drifted off to sleep in my arms, I made a silent promise. I would never again choose doubt over dialogue. Never again let fear make my decisions. Never again forget that the woman beside me had chosen me every day and deserved the same unwavering choice in return. Outside, rain began to fall, gentle and steady. Inside, we were warm, together, healing. And that was enough.